4 months ago, the world was stopped in its tracks by a deadly virus.
COVID-19 is a very long way from finished, and eradication is technically impossible.
Science is now centre stage, changing the lives of millions.
We're shining the light of science on this invisible killer.
But the science often seems confusing. Early predictions were wide of the mark.
More than 30,000 people have now died.
Wonder drugs have failed to deliver. And immunity passports are yet to materialise. 6 weeks ago, Horizon looked at what we knew about this new virus. But science has never moved so quickly.
We've diverted all our capability for coronavirus.
So what do we know now?
So there is live coronavirus in there.
Will we ever become immune?
You've got some people who haven't made any antibody at all.
The danger is herd immunity could fade away.
Yes.
How close are we to finding a vaccine?
We've started moving to doing real clinical manufacturing at industrial scale very early.
And what have we learnt about how this virus is attacking us?
There's growing evidence that this is a multi-system disease.
As we enter this new phase of the pandemic, the task now is not just learning more about this novel virus, but more about ourselves, how our bodies work, how we interact with each other, and how we can use this information to protect those most at risk.
The speed at which we're able to answer these questions is going to affect every aspect of the way we live our lives in the coming weeks, months, and years. If you'd told me a year ago that a novel coronavirus would jump into the human population from a bat somewhere in East Asia, neither I nor anyone who studies infectious diseases would have been particularly surprised. In fact, there were 3 papers published in early 2019 predicting exactly that. But everything that's happened since that initial transfer, that initial jump between species has been, to me anyway, completely unimaginable. To try and make sense of where we are and what's going to happen, sometimes the best thing to do as a scientist is to look to the past. It's thought coronaviruses have been infecting animals for hundreds of millions of years. In the 1960s, when we discovered that they could cause common colds in humans, we got our first glimpse of how they looked under an electron microscope, and researchers noted the resemblance to the solar corona. Until now, there have been 4 strains of coronavirus widely circulating throughout the human population. 2 are believed to have come from bats, and the other 2 may have come from rodents. One recent study of today's coronavirus produced this extraordinary picture showing individual viral particles attached to a dying cell from a COVID-19 patient. And what always strikes me about an image like this is just how small viruses are. You could fit 600 of these across the width of a single human hair. Now, until recently, coronaviruses have been largely ignored because they're relatively harmless to humans. But in the last 2 decades, that has changed.